My name is Morningstvr, and I am the sole member within the project Morningstvr. And I am a one-man band for synth-based black metal, which has a lot of medieval black metal, dungeon synth, and even some witch house elements. The meaning behind the band name stems from the the story of Lucifer and the fall of the angels in the biblical sense. Like he was named the morning star because he brought a lot of light into things. And I felt that was a very good name for me, just from what people throughout my life have described me as. That I somehow bring light into their lives, and I wanted to kind of capitalize on that years ago. I wanted something that was just profound and something that's going to be, remembered, and that's just what I went with actually at the time. So my upcoming album of Fate Engraved is actually my third studio album, fourth if you're counting the recently released synth-based black metal edition of my previous album, In Memoriam of the Black Wind. So Fate Engraved, I wanted something, how do I put it? I wanted something just a little bit different than my last album. I wanted something more set rather than kind of experimental all over the place when it comes to certain themes within an album, like In Memoriam of the Black Wind was in certain aspects. A Fate Engraved is more of a medieval direction. I would say it has it's more it's I don't want to say it's more atmospheric, but it's definitely more into like a medieval direction. It has a lot of Tolkien references. I am a huge admirer and fan of J.R.R. Tolkien's work. Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Silmarillion, the list goes on. So now, but when it comes to the title, at least, I wanted something. I wanted something that just resonates with the amount of change that I went through in just the past year alone. After the release of my second studio album, In Memoriam of the Black Wind, that kind of set me on like the path of, this is the sound that I want. This is what's going to kind of catapult me forward, whether it's that album or whatever. I mean, in retrospect, it really did catapult me forward in a handful of ways, and that's why once I kind of saw that momentum happening, I wanted to the next album was I had to kind of capitalize off of like seeing that momentum and like being like, this is what I'm meant to do, this is my purpose here. And that's truly what fate is. Fate is just, oh, this is what I'm meant to do, this is my fate. And I love graveyards and cemeteries and such, so I figured, well, what if like this looks really good on a gravestone, something like that. So like a fate engraved like into stone, or like something like that. Pretty much, I didn't really have too much. I didn't have to really think about it too much, because with this upcoming album, I really knew what I wanted to do. So that's really all I could say about Fate Engraved right now. When it comes to the lyrics for this album, like I said, it really stems from the themes of just being a lot more medieval, compared to my last album, or really compared to any other album. This is like the most, I guess you could say, dark age that I really went into. There's a song on there, I mean, The Last of the Northern Kingdoms. I mean, the title itself is referenced, in a medieval sense. Now, when you look at the lyrics, however, I'm actually talking about my homeland, far to the north, and there's a lot of medieval references within that one, and much like another one, When Mountains Behold Tombs of Nine. If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, well, you know what's up with that one. It's the High Fells in Rhudaur, where the Witch King of Angmar and the other 8 ring wraiths were buried after the Angmar War. And so that one is actually going to be interesting, because I don't think anyone has ever put Black Speech of Mordor into a song before like that. So, and I actually studied the orc language and put it into that song. But there's lyrical content about lost empires and frozen wastelands, lost romance, stuff like that. It's very I don't know how to describe it, honestly, but it all goes together. That's all I can really say. I think it goes together a lot more than my last album, lyrically and instrumentally, and that's what I can say about that. Now, the cover art, just like my last album, I have been very, very inspired by Dark Throne's Unholy Trinity that took place from 1992 all the way to 1994. And the last album, I wanted something similar, but it's kind of almost like it's in a story. So my last album, the album cover for that, for Memoriam of the Black Wind, you see me kneeling on the ground with one knee, and I have my sword in hand with my right hand. And with this album, I wanted it to be okay, I was kneeling before, but now I could stand in front of the masses. And this time I again, sword in hand, but my left hand, if you've seen the album art already, it's literally the fingertips are touching my logo. And it's almost like I'm beholden to my own fate. This is what I'm meant to be. This is what I'm supposed to do in life. And that's what I really aimed for the cover art for this album. I wanted and I needed it to go along with the overall idea and concept for this album. Outside of music, I mean, there's a lot of things I do, honestly. I work as a stagehand. When I'm not working, I'm at home. I'm honestly I'm honestly at the point in my life again to where I'm actually working on music every single day, whether I'm recording something or promoting something, or building connections, working on some kind of media art. It's practically an everyday thing now, and but it's rarely stressful. I think I could say it's rarely stressful because this is what I want to do. But other than that, I go to the gym, go on adventures, with friends when they're available. I go out to certain clubs, mostly just ones that friends own here in Los Angeles. If I'm not doing any of that, I'm just sitting at home watching TV, and in my beautiful master bedroom, and place I live in, like I have a pretty nice life right now, honestly. I'm very, very grateful that like I've gotten to this point. So that's pretty much just what I do outside of music. Ooh, I was hoping this question would be asked. This is one of my favorites when people ask me this. So, when I first discovered or first had interest in metal, this was so interesting. This was by chance, even like so. I was actually really bored one day. I had just come home from I think the last day of middle school in 2008, and when I was just watching TV in the living room, and I wanted to watch some music videos. I've always loved music videos, and I couldn't find anything that interested me in the rock section. Mind you, like I just listened to like some rock like in middle school, and that was kind of about it. But so I went into metal, and I just was just like, you know what? Let's just see what they got. There's probably not going to be anything that interests me. Like let's just do this. And I discovered I was going through the whole list. This is back when Xfinity it was just called On Demand. So it was like that blue and yellow software, whatever you want to call it. It was long before streaming, and I remember coming upon this band called Moonspell, and they're like a gothic like black doom metal band. Not black and doom, but like they're like a doom metal band from Portugal, and they've been around since 1989. And I discovered their song Scorpion Flower, and then I went through the rest of their music videos like on Xfinity at the time, and I was just like, wow, this is fucking cool. And so I discovered more. I found Abigail Williams. I found both My Valentine. I found Whitechapel, and just a whole bunch of others. And I had just gotten into my freshman year of high school, when I was just, pretty immersed in things. And so, yeah, I would say that's when I first discovered an interest in metal. And well, this is my life now. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. When it comes to collaborative things, and this it's never anything against artists that reach out to me to collaborate, but I like when things blend easily, and sometimes like there could be two incredible musicians who one or another want to collaborate on a track or something like that, and it just ends up not working, and I've been fortunate to have had actually a lot of artists from other genres like hit me up to collaborate, whether it's a split EP or we actually just collaborate on a song or something like that. And a lot of them have been really good in their own music, don't get me wrong, but unfortunately it just didn't pan out. It didn't kind of like work. It just I wasn't feeling it. So when it comes to like non-metal ones, it's very I could say that it's hard to say, because right now there are a lot, but it's kind of hard to say who. Yeah, I don't know how I can answer that, honestly. My perception of the evolution of metal throughout the years, I think I I mean, different genres have grown in their own different ways, so it's hard to say overall. But I mean, I guess I could say that it's been a very interesting thing to watch, um, because there's so much genre blending now. I mean, that's technically what I'm doing. Even there's so much of it, and it's very fascinating to me. I think that's the right word for the evolution of metal music throughout the years. I think it's fascinating to see the way that it's grown, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. I mean, even like when all the music took that hit in 2020, as we all know, that we don't want to remember, like the way that like it's actually gotten back on its feet too, like is incredible. So I think it's remarkable, it's admirable, and yeah, that's what I gotta say about it. Okay, rapid fire section. These are some very interesting questions. I've actually been waiting for someone to ask me some of these questions. I think AI generated cover art is very cheap, and I'm sorry if you're like using AI for cover art, get out of music. I'm not sorry. I disagree with it. Like some of it looks cool, do not get me wrong, but you're cheap, and it's very disrespectful to other media artists that you won't even take the time to even ask them like what their rates are, or even go through them for cover art. Simplest thing too, do your own photography. That's even what I do, and if you're good at like online editing, which almost anyone is these days, you can make some damn good cover art. But AI, get the fuck out of here with that shit. First album that bought me my own money, In Memoriam of the Black Wind, even the original version. That one still brings me money to this day, and is gonna continue to bring me money like throughout the years. That's why I'm so proud of that album, like that one's made me quite a bit of money, and I'm very, very grateful, like, because of that. Like, only to like just complete strangers who picked up like a CD when I had a merch table or something, but just dude, like my fans are awesome, and like they do what they can with what they got, when they got it, and when they got it, they always come through. So like my fans are awesome. Is there a conspiracy theory you could think is actually true? Yes, I do. This is good. Yeah. Conspiracy theory that I think is true is Red Bull does give you wings, because here's the thing, maybe there's so much bad toxic shit in Red Bull that it just kills you quicker and early on than you expected, and like the notion that you get wings when you die. I think that's the conspiracy theory that I think is true, that Red Bull really will give you wings, but it's gonna kill you. If my music were a movie, which one would it be? That's kind of hard to say, because for my stuff, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, it could work as it could work as like a medieval fantasy movie. I would love to see songs from a Fate Engraved on a medieval fantasy film. Like, I would love to see that. So I would say that. The worst job that I've ever had. Ooh, that's a good one. I'd have to say Safeway and Bevmo are definitely tied right there. Those are definitely the two worst ones. Favorite pop song? I don't really have one. I don't listen to a lot of American pop, even though like a lot of American pop has like kind of expanded into a lot of sounds now, to where like even some rock would actually sound like it would be put under the pop umbrella, which I find a little weird, but I don't really listen to a lot of American pop. I listen to some pop from Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine, but some of that I would kind of like incorporate more as like hip hop and stuff like that. But I don't really have a favorite pop song actually. Future plans for Morningstvr. That there's a lot being planned right now. A lot. I already have. I'm already thinking about 2027. Next year has the rest of this year has a lot of plans. Like 2026 has bigger plans, but I'm already planning for 2027. But as we all know, A Fate Engraved is coming out on June 20th. There is a album release tour happening along the West Coast. We are hitting Los Angeles, San Diego, Seattle, Portland, Boise, Idaho, Twin Falls, Idaho, and so that's going to be a short run tour. That's happening in June as well. There's a few shows being planned for the remainder of the year. There's a lot being planned, and that's already happening, but I can't say much about it right now, but there are a lot of future plans that are just, all I could say, it's going to be epic. Yes. Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute blast doing this interview, and I look forward to my next encounter with you. Thank you so much.